You are now tuned into Blueprint Radio.
This week in news, we've got a pretty big update in a case that's been going on for almost 3 years now. So it looks like Young Thug has accepted a plea deal to gang, drug, and gun charges. So I'll get this off quickly. So the Fulton County Superior Court Judge Paige Reese Whitaker gave him a total sentence of 40 years. The first 5 years were to be served in prison, but that was commuted to time served. Then he had 15 years of probation. I'll say that again. 15 years of probation. Yeah. Finally, the backloaded 20 years in prison will be commuted to time served if he complies to all of his conditions on his probation. If he doesn't complete his probation successfully, he will have to serve the 20 years in prison. He's already served, obviously, the 2.5, so that's dead time. I guess for those that don't know, it's... every day in prison is actually worth 2 in the real world.
It's a day and a night.
Yeah, so it all depends on, and that changes from state to state, country to country, but that's typically how it works. And in the craziest trial that you'll probably ever see, just in regards to all the things that rolled out in the trial. So first was, hit as a RICO shortly after he was arrested. Young Thug was arrested on May 9th, 2022, to multiple issues with the jury's credibility, with reselections, to switching the judges mid-trial, to Gunna, his label mate, and co-accused taking an early plea deal,
smart.
Bringing the label, and it's crazy because Thug then came out and maybe dropped one of the best projects of 2023 at the same time being, publicly labeled a snitch. What are your thoughts? This is crazy. This is probably the way that the judicial system doesn't want to be looked at in any way, shape, or form. How do you have faith after this?
Firstly,
this is ill, dog.
Firstly, he took a blind plea, so he didn't know what was on the other side. He didn't know if they didn't really have a deal for him off top, so he didn't know what he was getting into. Free Thugger, he's free now, but he's not free because 15 years of being on probation, that's some Meek Mill stuff. If you pop a wheelie,
that is.
If you drive too fast, remember, state troopers come and arrest you for all types of stuff. If you miss paying a ticket, he might have to do the 20 years on the back end.
You got to do it. I think for the next 15 years, you live like a secluded life. If you can, as much as you can, much as you can. You have the money, right?
Bro,
now you're out to make it.
You came from being a deal, though. You were head honcho, supposedly.
Yeah,
that's what they try to paint him in the RICO case as the kingpin.
Yeah.
So how do you go from being a kingpin to having your lawyer bringing you drugs in the courtroom, supposedly
from the beginning?
Allegedly. I'm not saying that's what happened.
I think that was the first thing that popped off too. So
it's like,
that
yo,
whole case
fam,
is just crazy, man.
I know in jail he had guys doing stuff for him, moving around.
Of course.
So it's like, how do you go from that to being this clean? You can't smoke. You got to be on time for 15 years straight.
I don't know the full conditions of his release.
Come on, man. We saw what Meek went through.
100%. I get it. But if anybody's gonna say you can be free, you're gonna take it. You're gonna try it. You're gonna have to try it, right?
Oh man, so nobody has a better story than a man that wants to be out of jail.
Can't wrong a man for that. I hope he's learned his lesson, and because kingpins, I don't care who you are, it doesn't last. It's never forever.
Of course not.
Go and make music. I think he makes good music and he collabs with good artists and he has respect in the hip hop industry. I think you get in life you get certain opportunities, and there are signs that you get that can change your life. And sometimes you got to see those signs and make adjustments that you might not want to make.
No, that's true.
For, the preservation of the rest of your life. And this might be one of those ones that is clearly in your face. You mess up, you actually going to sit and do that time. Like, I don't know if you play with that. So we'll see.
It's just a lot, bro.
I'm glad he's home, though. I'll say that.
It's just a lot. I want to see the music he comes out with.
Yeah,
I
just
know
get to the music. Just get to the music.
And he's been big on unity. He sent that tweet trying to get Future.
Yeah, I love that.
Drake and
I love that.
Metro Boomin to squash that. So.
But then he comes out and the first thing he does is wants to jump on the track of Little Baby, who clearly said is that I don't mess with Gunna at all. He's a snitch. So
I mean,
he's clearly with the shits too, right? So I think it's just us to watch from the sidelines.
Sometimes you gotta draw a line, though.
Maybe, hey, hopefully it's for the positive. We'll see.
You are now tuned into Blueprint Radio.